everyone, it's Mr. West. I hope you're all well. So finally, my review for the OnePlus 6. I've waited all this time as I really wanted to give this phone a good test as my daily companion to really get a feel for what it's like, learn its pros and cons, and then come and tell you all about it on this video. So first things first is the design. So this has been such a rock solid device since I've started using it. So many phones these days, the pictures and renders never do them justice, but when we first picked this up, this thing is special, really beautifully crafted. There are no creaks or groans from the bodywork at all whatsoever. Even after being in my pocket for all of this time, it's still rock solid. Although I actually love the look of it, it's not very ergonomic, as in it's very, very slippery, which means you're kind of forced to use a case. If you dare to bear and go naked with this phone, if you drop it, you are going to pick up dings and scratches very, very quickly. Thankfully, OnePlus have got a fantastic range of official cases, a little bit on the pricey side, but that is reflected in the construction and the way that they actually fit really tight around the phone, and also give you good access to all the buttons and the ports around the handset. Due to the taller display size, this is now an 18:9 phone, just like the OnePlus 5T. You do have to kind of readjust your grip if you haven't got large hands and you're blessed with kind of circus folk hands like I've got. As for the rest of the design, these clicky buttons, yes, they make a return again. I know people say to me, oh, clicky buttons, you keep going on about that, but it is true. They're so satisfying to use. The amount of time that they spent making sure that these buttons are really nicely tactile. So the volume rocker is still on the left hand side on this phone, but what they have done is move the alert slider up to the right hand side. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, not sure about that, but it just feels so much more natural now, because when you lock the phone, you may be in a position where you may want to adjust the vibration or alert settings on the phone. So say if you're going into a meeting at work, it's there ready rather than having to readjust your grip to do it on the left hand side of the handset, which I think is really, really handy. It's a great choice and it's really ergonomic and nicely placed on the handset. Now you can get this phone in 4 colors. You've got the midnight black, which we've got here. We've got the mirror black option. We've also got the white phone, and we've also got the red edition as well. All are really nice colors and really complement this design brilliantly. So when you hit the right light, you get this kind of cool S pattern at the back of the device, and that is because of these 6 layers of glass that they put on the back to give you this kind of shimmering effect on the back. It's great to see the attention to detail that OnePlus have paid to this with this glass design. It has divided opinion on using the glass, and some of the cons will come with that, which I'll talk about in later on in the video. So this time OnePlus have gone for a notch display, and again, this is one of those things that kind of divides opinion, and they do give you the option to hide that by putting black bars to the left and right of the notch display. But I think with the OnePlus 6, OnePlus have been quite sympathetic with the notch. It's not a huge notch, and it doesn't get too much in the way of the notifications at the top of the screen. Because it's an AMOLED display, when you decide you want to hide the notch, you get these perfectly black lines across both sides of the notch, and it makes it look seamless at the front of the display. So as far as display quality goes, this is still a 1080p display, and I know a lot of people moaned about the fact that OnePlus haven't moved to a quad HD display. This is a wonderfully tuned display. It's been really nicely done. You've got a variety of color options. You've got the DCI-P3 color space. You've also sRGB, or you can actually have it on vivid, or you can choose the color profile that you want. You can have cool or warm tones, whichever floats your boat. But as far as using the phone day to day, the screen is perfectly legible. It looks great when you're watching video. Gives your photos a really good pop. The brightness is good. The contrast is excellent because you've got that AMOLED display technology, and that means you get pure inky blacks. So when you've got that notch display hidden, you really can't tell that it was there in the first place. So it's a great job by OnePlus on the display. OnePlus handsets have always aced it in the performance department, and with the new top of the line Snapdragon 845 processor and 8 GB of RAM and an Adreno 630 GPU, this thing absolutely flies. Everything you do, day-to-day tasks, even stressing the phone with high intensity tasks, this thing just does not break a sweat. Everything just from navigation through the UI menus, the fingerprint scanner, everything just responds so quickly. All of these little things make up for a really slick user experience, and day-to-day performance is just absolutely fantastic. So as far as connectivity concerned, we've got the standard array of connections around the phone. So we've got the 3.5mm headphone jack, we've also got the USB-C slot, we've also got Bluetooth 5.0, we've got great connectivity with 4G and Wi-Fi. Both of those have been absolutely great, whether I've been at home or out and about. The 4G connectivity particularly is extremely fast, and there's only been a few occasions in slightly patchy areas where it's lost its signal integrity, but apart from that, it's been absolutely great. So GPS connection is similarly good. You get a really rock solid connection and a fast connection to the satellite as well, which is really great. So if you're in a hurry and you need to get directions very quickly, this is your man. It's very, very quick, and compared to my old OnePlus 3T, it is like light years ahead. So onto one thing that's not so good, and that is the battery life. So this is with the brightness set to medium and the phone connected to a mixture of Wi-Fi and 4G connectivity. It's okay battery life, I think. It's something I think that they can improve on, but it hasn't been one of my favorite features of the phone. But thank God for the fast charge capabilities, because that is really something. Being able to plug in and pretty much top your phone up to 100% from maybe 50% throughout the day is so quick and so handy as well. So let's address the elephant in the room. No wireless charging. A lot of people were hoping for this from the launch announcement. It's got a glass back now and it could potentially have it, but OnePlus have chosen not to put it in this handset. A lot of people were put off the OnePlus 6 because it didn't have wireless charging, and that just goes to show how much it means to people. I think OnePlus need to stand up and listen, and a lot of people are coming maybe from Samsung phones which have that wireless charging technology. So let's move on to a hotly debated feature of the OnePlus 6, and that is the cameras. There's been furious debate about this since the phone has been released, and OnePlus have addressed a lot of the criticisms of the camera with numerous updates. Just before I started this video, it's had a further update to OxygenOS 5.1.11. and it was previously on 5.1.9. That again improved the dynamic range of the camera, improved the color accuracy, exposure control, and it's further been improved again with a further update. Now for me, the cameras have been great. It's so easy to just get a good shot with this camera. You just point at an object, it'll just focus really quickly. You press the shutter button and it takes a great photo. If you want to go further than that, it's got raw mode as well, so you can actually just take a raw shot and then tinker with that to your heart's content in your chosen editing app later. Hasn't quite got the great low light performance that OnePlus said it had at the launch event, but for most day-to-day subjects, plantation, cars, people, and other things like buildings, and just landscape shots in general, or anything else you want to take a photo of, the OnePlus 6 cameras are champion. Like I said, they've got great dynamic range, good color reproduction, even handles bright scenes really well, and that is one of the things I love about this. It just goes about its business and takes great shots every time. If you want to move into the Pro mode, you can get even better results at night as well. This is not going to beat the high-level flagships, but it comes really close, and it does everything you can reasonably want from a phone camera, and that is probably the beauty of it, is that it's such a good all-rounder and takes great photos of pretty much anything you want to take a photo of. So one thing I didn't really like about the camera is the portrait mode. It's very hit and miss, and it's very difficult to get the right shot because of the blurring effect. I've tried it on various subjects, and I don't know, I just think that the blurring effect is too aggressive around the subject, and it makes it very difficult to kind of frame it correctly. Don't get me wrong, the results do come out great, but it's just the experience of actually taking the photo in the first place. As far as video is concerned, now this is one area I was disappointed. So 4K 30 frames per second video has that butter smooth electronic image stabilization. Now, I've done a full camera test which will be popping up on the screen right now, so you should go and take a look at that because that shows everything in more detail. But if I was to summarize the video quality of the phone, I'd just say it's okay. It's above average, but it's not as great as I thought it was going to be. And moving up to 4K 60 frames per second, so this is new for the OnePlus 6. And whilst it's great to have that feature, once again, the outright detail and the quality, especially the bit rate, is not very good. It does leave something to be desired. So my good friend allowed me to have a blast in his very fast Audi, and I took the OnePlus 6 with me. And when I watched the results back, they looked okay, but then I watched them on a big screen, and it was full of artifacting and compression in large areas of color like the sky. This is only a £519 phone at the end of the day, so I shouldn't be expecting miracles. But if you're going to offer that feature, at least make it decent. I just felt a little bit disappointed with the video. So one thing I wanted to touch on in this video is its audio quality. The audio quality on this phone is absolutely fantastic. Now, some people will differ and some have different tastes, but for me, plugging a pair of headphones into this thing was a revelation. It's got loads of volume, the actual quality is fantastic. It can drive a lot of headphones, even my big Sennheisers, really easily, and it's got plenty of power behind it. So you've got a Dirac HD digital to analog converter built into the phone with its own amplifier, and you can engage that by going into the audio tuner menu and just flicking that on, and that will activate the audio chip and help to give you better quality sound. The equalizer is quite sympathetic, so when you actually use the gain control, it's not really overpowering and adding loads of bass at each step. It's quite subtle in the way it does things, and I think it allows you to shape the sound to your liking, because when it's flat, it's not going to be to everyone's tastes, but the actual audio quality is absolutely great. Now, there's one thing that you can do to further improve the audio quality, and that is to install the Snapdragon Music Effects app. Now, you can't get this on the Play Store, but you can find it on the XDA forums. I'll leave a link in the description, and you should install that because it does further enhance the audio quality. It doesn't really color the audio too much as well. That's one of the good things, but it is great to have it there because it further enhances the audio quality of this great device. So the last thing I wanted to talk about, and it's the one thing which keeps me coming back to these phones time and time again, is the Oxygen OS software. It is mind-blowingly good. It really, really is. It is the best software package on any Android phone to date. Period. It's so brilliantly tuned with the hardware of this phone. It is fantastic. It nails it every single time with every task that you want to do. The combination of the processor and the optimization with the software, it makes things fly. It really does. Things like opening the camera or accessing your favorite apps on the phone, it's all done so quickly and efficiently. And just the little touches that OnePlus have put into the software, for example, on-screen gestures. So if I've got the screen off like this, I can just draw an O on the screen and that will open up my camera on the phone. And similarly as well, if I've got the screen off, I can just draw a V shape and that will switch on the flash on the back of the phone. So when I'm going up to the shed in the night and I'm scared of spiders and robbers, I can just flick this on and I can just go about my business without having to be too scared. And you can just flick it off with just a flick on the screen as well. If you listen to music with the screen off, you can just pull down with 2 fingers and that will pause the music. Do the same again, it will play the music. All of these little things are all very useful features, and they're not just tagged on for the sake of it. They're all great convenience features which make a huge difference to the overall user experience of using Oxygen OS. And that to me shows that OnePlus cares about the end user experience. A lot of people have got a lot of things to say about OnePlus, and I am one of them. They're not the most perfect company in the world, but they're learning and they are doing their best to update their phones to be the best that they can. I can't not do this review without addressing some of the shortcomings of this phone, which is something that they need to address in future iterations. So we've already talked about no wireless charging. Again, that was a missed opportunity in my opinion, and something that OnePlus should have included in the handset from day one. So another one is no stereo speakers. Now for me personally, this was not something I thought I really needed or wanted when I first had the OnePlus 6. But then I had an Asus Zenfone 5 which has stereo speakers and very good ones at that, and I was like, right, I see the appeal. So I'm not afraid to admit I'll have to eat my words on that one. Stereo speakers on a phone does add to the immersiveness of the experience, whether it's just watching your favorite YouTube video or if you're just watching a film on your own at night in bed or during the day or something and you don't want to plug your headphones in. It does add a lot to the experience, and I think again this is something people were hoping for with this. We all know OnePlus, sometimes they buck convention and they make these strange decisions, and I'm thinking, why have they done that? Again, it's probably down to cost. Including those in the next phone would be really great. I've heard it on other phones and it works superbly, so I'm not afraid to eat humble pie and say yes, stereo speakers are a good addition to a phone. Not essential, but it's nice to have them, and there's plenty of room to put it in this phone. So OnePlus, please make sure you include it in your next handset. So in conclusion then, the OnePlus 6 is a real star buy for me. £519 for this one. You spend an extra £50, you can get one with the top tier storage. It comes in 4 great colours. It's built beautifully, although it is a bit slippery and fragile, and the software is an absolute winner. As I said in the software section, the best software package you can get for Android right now at the moment. As long as you can put up with these shortcomings I've mentioned in the video, then this is a real Android hero handset, one that bucks the trend and sticks 2 fingers up to the flagships in the Android world and says, look, we can build a phone that feels great, looks great, and practically outperforms a lot of higher cost handsets on the market. So if you're looking for a phone that's affordable, will do everything you reasonably want in day-to-day tasks, and will be supported with future software updates, and the OnePlus 6 makes a really compelling choice if you're looking for a new Android handset. So if you've got any comments or questions about anything I've talked about in this video, please leave them down below in the comment section. I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media channels, which will pop up on the screen right now, and ask me any questions there, and also see updates on things like photos from any handsets that I'm testing in future. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like, and if you're new around here, I upload videos every single week, so please consider subscribing so you don't miss more great content coming very soon. For now, this has been my review of the really great OnePlus 6. My name's Mr. West, and I'll catch you guys later.